This is Roger Bachek from Toastmasters at the Lake, WKLN, coming to you live with our interview on the street tonight with none other than Paul Bunyan.
Hello, Roger.
And the title of tonight's interview is Why Toastmasters? Paul, good evening.
Good evening, Roger.
Have you been having a good day?
Oh, absolutely. This weather's wonderful.
It is that. Great. Before we get into the meat of the interview, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you were born, about your parents.
Well, for starters, I am originally a transplant outside of North Carolina. I've lived in New York for roughly 17 years. I was born and raised there. I lived in Queens, New York, but I wasn't too familiar with Manhattan and the city, although my parents worked there. But they are also from abroad. They did not originate as American citizens.
Where did they immigrate from?
Well, they immigrated from a country called Guyana, which is located in South America nearby Brazil. And they are very rich in exports and have a wonderful culture there. And I'm sure there are many fascinating lessons that we can learn from the Guyanese culture.
Great, that's great. Well, let's talk about your adventure with Toastmasters. When did you join Toastmasters?
I joined Toastmasters at the Lake back in August. It was August 13th of 2013.
I see. Was there a driving or a compelling reason that you joined Toastmasters? Because I know Toastmasters is quite an international organization and has helped many people on the speaking tours. So what was your reason for joining it?
Absolutely. My main driving force comes from my father, and he, being an established speaker, not yet on the professional circuit, but within Toastmasters, he's graced me with the ability to carry a conversation and to get me motivated about so many things. And my main focus was to get motivated, get out of the house, and speak more, elaborate more.
I see. Where do you hope that Toastmasters will take you?
I would love for Toastmasters to take me worldwide, teaching a myriad of people about subjects I love, but mostly to communicate with ease and to eradicate their fear when it comes to sharing who they are.
I see. Tell me about some of these subjects that you love and would like to go and speak about. You need to have I would think you would need to have a passion for something. Are you trying to convince people to do a certain political ideology? Are you what's your interest? What are you driving at?
Fair enough. Well, my main driving force, aside from getting motivated and telling people, whether they're crowds or your neighbors or loved ones, to get out there and share your story, be who you are. But my focus comes from a very long past time and a fascination with video games.
Wow, video games. Well, as one that didn't grow up with video games and have not exactly played very many of them, tell me about your passion with that and how you feel Toastmasters is going to enhance your ability for playing games or instructing people about playing games.
Well, first and foremost, Toastmasters gives you an atmosphere, a learning atmosphere, where you can build up on your listening skills and your communication skills. And I believe that the developers of many popular video game titles, they've established that in such a way where it's written in beautiful prose within the gaming manual itself to tell you, press A to do this, press B to do that. Or they may captivate you by sending you into their own world with colorful characters and interesting worlds that you want to discover more about and the lore behind that. And I believe Toastmasters enhances your writing as well, so that you can craft your own speeches and share your own story, and you can captivate a whole new audience.
That's very well. But one thing that I see missing is where does this fall into making Paul Bunyan a living?
Well, for starters, I would want to make a living creating those video games. Although programming isn't my main motif, I would say that I would get a team of people behind me and I want to communicate my vision to them. So communication in part that Toastmasters will aid me in showing my team how to create that perfect game world where I'm going to have 7 to 18-year-olds playing my game on the latest console or PC. And they'll want to communicate it to their friends, their family, to say, this is fun, we're having a great time doing this, and I'm not just pushing buttons, mom and dad, I'm actually getting motivated to share my own vision.
Interesting concept. Interesting concept. As a person of quite a different generation than you are, I don't see how that all plays out, because I've watched my son, he's got Xbox this and Y box that, and I don't know what all, and he plays, he's not a real gamer, but yet he still plays some of this stuff. But without, do you have technical background that you can go in here and write code, that you can find the people to do that? These are some specialties.
I agree. Those special skills that we need to say, hey, I'm a coder, and I want to code the next new classic Mario Brothers game, soon to be released within the fall. And we've got so many storyboards out there. We've got everything set in stone. We just need the funding behind it. We need the right animators. We want to know what you can bring to the table and how we can come alongside you. And I believe Toastmasters will allow us to do that by eradicating that fear, like I said earlier.
Very well, very well. That's good. Well, this is Roger Bacek from Toastmasters at the Lake Norman, and I appreciate your time, Paul. I think we're about up, and I wish you well. And maybe I need to come and spend a Saturday afternoon with you and learn how to play some games.
All right, that would be wonderful.
Thank you very much.